Ever wonder what your day would be like with Boom Radio? Yep, us too. We don't think about nightmares.
Good day. This is the Boom Bar from Boom Radio NG in Lagos, Nigeria. How are you doing? My name is Shola Rogers.
And my name is Olajuwon. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boom Bar, like he had said. And we bid you a warm welcome to the bar this very interesting afternoon. If you're just joining us for the very first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to be dealing with a lot of things, a lot of entertainment stories, sports stories. There are also a few political stories, updates, a lot of updates coming from a lot of states, or as well as time goes on. So now, let's get right into it as we officially have a new CBN governor. Is that to be? Yesterday, the Nigerian Senate has decided to go ahead to, to confirm the new CBN, the recently nominated CBN governor, the deputies, and also looks like we now have new ministers of youth. This first time there's going to be something called ministers of youth, though. There's a minister of youth, there's a minister of state for youth. So yes, looks like that ministry might be up and running now as well. Even though at the screening yesterday, I saw a video where one of the senators, former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole, stood up with, and he made some very pertinent some concerns. And one of the things that he was talking about is that he is a little wary of people that are in the banking sector, or that all their lives are in the banking sector, and they move into the CBN, as the CBN is not a money-making venture, but it's supposed to be about monetary policies that is supposed to help the currency and help the country at large, and how that being the CBN governor, is going to switch from the money-making angle to making monetary policies that is supposed to favor the country and not the banking sector, really and truly. And I think it's a very, very very sensible argument. Also, there's also the conversation where he said that he hopes that this new CBN governor will not be his words verbatim, I'm trying to remember, will not be a law unto himself. And I think these are very interesting conversations. A lot of people might feel that, okay, is there really a need? But I think it is a need. It's a growing concern. It's one of the issues that we dealt with. We had a CBN governor that became a law unto himself, was doing whatever he was going to do, whenever, however. Sadly, at some point, it looked like he was backed by the president, which did not make any sense at that point.
Does it make at this point?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, at that point,
still at this point,
they're both not the governor, they're not the president. And
it's a question. Looking back, does this make sense? It does. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense then. It doesn't make sense today. It will not make sense tomorrow. Why the policies of the CBN became the problem of the people. It doesn't make sense. It will never make sense why the CBN decided to become almost a retail banker at some point in time. Mm-hmm. If you want to stimulate the economy, you want to do things to drive down, the inflation and everything, there could have been several ways to do it. These policies would have worked if some individuals stuck to the rules of engagement and the rules of, governing the economy, of running, the monetary policies. I agree completely with everything that Senator, I like the sound of that, Adams Oshemole has said. But basically be saying, let's go back to the basics. Let's go back to what it should be. The immediate past, I am not a big fan of the immediate past former governor of the central bank. Like, I feel like it's something that shouldn't have happened to Nigeria at all. Sadly, they made him one of the longest serving CBN
if not
governors.
the longest, not one of. I don't think any other CBN governor has ever stayed that
Man
long.
was even trying to run for another couple of years under this particular president too. He was already cozying up to him.
You seem to forget that he wanted to be president.
I've moved past that one now.
No,
I have moved
it's a
past that
major
one.
issue.
I did not say it's not. But talking as a CBN governor, after he tried the partisan politics.
Yeah,
and
we saw
failed,
we saw how he was really trying to,
he came back and he was still trying to cozy up and say, what?
your jazz did not work.
I don't get it, because your policies are meant to make life easier for people, but all you ended up doing was to make life very, very, very hard.
Very hard, exactly. Very
And
hard.
look, the new CBN team, you need to look up their CVs, not just the governor, the deputies, the deputy governors, all four of them. I'm looking at it and I'm almost excited, but I have learned from experience not to be excited about anything.
Exactly. That's why my own is that,
government
their CVs might be nice and wonderful. My conversation is, how does this translate? If this does not translate to good policies for Nigeria, then good luck to their CVs. Their CVs in the bin. It doesn't add. If it doesn't add anything to anybody, it doesn't help anybody, then really and truly, what's the point?
So that's it. If they're gonna come through and really make things better for Nigerians, yeah, it's fine. It's really fine. But it has to be with cautious optimism. And I've listened to statements by the new CBN governor. I can call him that. If he's passed the Senate screening, it's just for his letter to be handed. That's if he doesn't even have the letter already itself. And another thing that they must look at to make the CBN function is not changing the governor and the deputy governors alone. There are people in that system.
Yeah, I
that
remember that there were the people. Okay, no, that's the
NNPCL.
That's the NNPCL. A lot of people that had to go in that place. I think
there are people in that system that need to leave.
Yes, there were actually a few more people than these CBN deputy governors that also left in this.
Yeah, more of them should go, and they should get in new Nigerians with experience. As there are a lot of Nigerians out there that would function very well and come with a new mindset. Look, this same CBN at some point was lending money to itself and giving money to staff to the tune of billions. And they also talks about how the so-called audit that we were applauding might be faulty. How is an audit faulty? How?
Human beings.
That's what I'm saying. Then what is an audit? Kuku don't do it at all. Don't do it.
Beings,
Do you know that leading up to this time, they were not auditing them?
Yeah.
Then they finally audit
Now
them.
they audit you. You push and keep quiet.
They shouldn't have. They should have just done what the other governors did. Don't audit now.
You people just keep quiet. That means audit you people are looking for. Now, I know that it's a conversation that a lot of people might be finding funny to deal with. But it's something I said earlier, and I feel that is a conversation that needs to be had. And it is the fact that I also feel that the former CBN governor, got away with a lot of these things.
A lot of blue murder.
Because he was allowed by the then president.
Exactly.
We might not like the sound of it, and I'm not saying that the president knew, but it might be more of ignorance on the side of the president. But also remember that the then vice president, was the chairman, or vice presidents are always the literally in charge of Nigeria's economy, literally. They're in charge of the the National Economic Council, which the CBN is a major part of. Yeah. And then you now wonder, if we go back and forth, you say, okay, maybe because he's a professor of law. Yeah. But he came off as someone that was, that is very cerebral. I don't have to be a banking person or a finance person for me to realize that whatever it is the CBN was doing at that point was not working. Do you understand? I didn't need some soothsayer, or I didn't need some long conversation to know that these things were not working. And my question now is, so what was the president, what was the vice president, what were they doing that they allowed this much illegality,
laxity,
this
illegality?
That's where I'm saying, that's where I'm going. So now you're not going to tell me that these people are all wonderful. There are only two ways. Is either you were culpable or you're ignorant. And you cannot, I don't think there's an excuse.
Can you expand your field to incompetent also?
Yeah, incompetent. Because
be incompetent.
You cannot tell me, and that's where incompetence comes in, because where I was going was that you can't tell me you're ignorant. If you're really ignorant, then what are you doing as a president and vice president? That now moves from ignorance to incompetence. There is no explaining this thing away, and there's not going to be some form of indictment on the president, then president, and vice president. I think that it was ridiculous.
If your team members are failing, you are failing.
Yes.
If your team members are succeeding,
I'm not even sure that
succeeding.
we'd ever seen a situation where state governors that were in the same party with the president actually literally sued the president and sued the federal government. It doesn't, nobody has, well, you will know to a large extent, because it didn't make any sense anymore. These things were not making any sense, and it was okay. I still feel funny because I felt that, and the president felt it was okay to continue like this for months. Remember that it was first fuel scarcity that didn't happen for almost 7.5 years. Somehow, former President Buhari found a way around it, and we didn't have fuel scarcity for years. And all of a sudden, the fuel just ceased. What? And then moved on to the Naira redesign, and it looked like it was never going to end. It didn't make any sense.
Naira redesign, indeed. Did you redesign the Naira or recolor it? One of the things that I've also noticed about life in general is that when you're on the outside, you see a lot of things and talk a lot of game.
Yeah.
But when you get inside, you find out that it's a different ball game entirely.
I agree.
You understand? So what this new team of CBN must do is to under-promise and over-deliver. Because you don't know what you're going to meet
exactly
when you finally take the reins, when you finally take over. Then, the oversight functions of the House of Assembly, the Senate and the House of Reps,
I don't know what...
They must not sleep on it this time. Because if you say someone became a law unto himself, he only became a law
because you
because he was allowed.
You confirmed this person,
allowed.
So you can literally kick him out.
It was allowed. And, power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So when the former CBN governor allegedly became powerful and saw that, this is power here, and he now saw he had absolute power, the man abused it now. It's the truth. Because
that's the thing.
In the process of redesigning, in quotes, the Naira,
everybody
how much was mopped up and how much was
released? Left to me, like he said, everybody was culpable, from the president to the vice president to the National Assembly, the Senate, and the House of Representatives, because everybody, all these people, from the president picking a CBN governor to the House of Assembly confirming this person and you have oversight functions. There's a whole committee that gets paid for those things. Now, that's it. Those people need to come and explain to us the magic that happened.
I was watching an old video of a probe by the House Finance Committee. I think Senator Adeola Yayi was chairman or sitting as chair in that committee. And there was a particular parastatal under education, that had generated IGR of about 410 million naira, spent about 380, and remitted only about 35 million or so to the government.
Okay.
But got grants for that year worth billions. Where is the sense in that? The same thing with universities. They get billions, from government. They generate IGR.
And then there's no explanation.
But their salaries are still being paid. And there's no explanation as to the IGR, how it's being spent, on what is being spent. Because for real, the state that we are in, we must hold everybody accountable. And
everybody.
This is why there's a strain on our finances. But the biggest problem, apart from these loopholes that we're pointing out, especially when it comes to the NDAs, the financial, accounts must be transparent.
Yeah.
But apart from that, the biggest problem still remains that we are importing too much. We're importing too much, and we're demanding too much forex to import. And the more we do that, the harder it becomes for everything that we have in Nigeria. For every item that is imported. And look at us, we're luxury-loving people. From the drinks, to the perfumes, to the clothing, to the bags and shoes, to virtually everything. The more we import these things, the harder things will become in Nigeria. Because you make the money locally and you're spending it internationally. You will say you didn't leave your house, but you lie. Oh, you didn't leave your country, but you lie. Look around you. Virtually everything in your house is imported. And these are the real issues.
We need to. So those are the things that the CBN definitely needs to do.
And the largest chunk of our imports, it's still petrol, diesel.
Yes. All those things need to.
Why are we importing those things?
Anyway, let's go there. There's no need for all that. We already know why we don't have refineries. Anyway, moving on from that. Now, a Nigerian journalist, they're still talking about, the Naira and economic issues. In a video, had a conversation that I think the president is still out of the country. Yeah,
I think so.
Where he was literally trying to get the attention of the president, where he said, commodification of the Naira. Use cassava. And I'm wondering, I know that there was a conversation, I think this was even before
before the campaign
started, there was a conversation attached to the then aspirant, now the president.
Yeah, I think it was at one of his colloquiums.
About using cassava and all that for a lot of things. And the truth is that whether we like it or not, we know for a fact there are a lot of things that we have in Nigeria. Some other countries are making billions of dollars of it, which we're not.
I agree.
Now, so this person was saying that we need the commodification of the Naira, use cassava. I'm guessing that he was talking about how you can use cassava to generate enough Naira for but is not enough Naira our problem, really? That's the question.
The commodification, of course, you're right about your guesses, but to just expand it a teeny weeny bit, you start to trade your currency like a commodity, the way gold is traded, and so it's more or less like the value of the commodity is the value of your currency.
Yeah.
So that's why he was shouting, use cassava, because we know that he said cassava, right? Cassava, of course, has several uses. They even use it as fuel. Sure, you get. Apart from the fact that we the bulk of what we get from cassava is food.
It's food, yeah. There's a
and
lot.
of course, the number one food in the world is gari. It doesn't need any advertisement. It's shout out to Gary.
Shout out to Gary.
I beg.
Shout out to Gary. Shout out
I
to
heard
Eba.
that younger people are calling it grocery now. I'm like, which one is grocery again?
No, it's Garium's office. We knew
No,
that
I said younger people.
grocery. Grocery. What?
I've seen a lot of. So you see, they put granules and milk and sugar. And that.
But it's a cereal, though, when you think about it.
It is.
It is a cereal, like proper cereal.
Is.
You have it with people, not my kind of own, but I don't agree with it, but with granite, which is not.
It's just
with sugar and milk. Okay. People do all sorts of things with it, but
so back to the naira commodification. That's exciting, right?
Yeah,
that's stimulating. So the naira commodification, like the Nigerian man, very patriotic person. I like the way he got the attention of the president. President paused, then gesticulated to some people on his team. I'm sure they're going to drag that guy along with them.
It's not a bad idea, really.
Oh, yeah.
It probably is a conversation that needs to really be looked at. It's maybe not just cassava, maybe a whole lot of other things that we have in abundance.
So it's a good thing.
Yeah,
but
it is.
Again, it also has its downsides.
Okay.
Because you are now fully exposed to the market forces. So when the value of those commodities crash, the value of your currency will crash. Do you understand?
Yeah, I get your point, about which I do not agree. That's where
there's negative and positive for virtually everything.
Where maybe the naira in the first place. Sadly, is the issue with oil that we're having, that literally our whole economy is dependent on one thing. If our economy is dependent on a whole lot of things on the same scale,
instead of being,
do you understand?
Instead of being a single
exactly
item,
and then
economy.
there is maybe 15% coming from oil, like there's another 15% coming from IT, there's a 20% from agri.
That's why
that way, even if one decides to fall, the effect will not be as much.
That's why commodifying and zeroing in on cassava again
might not be.
Is not a great idea.
It could be a very good thing to add to what we have already, but it's not a good. Is not, if you just use that alone. It's not a very good idea. But if we can find ways, even as little as cocoa, we know cocoa, countries make billions of it. So there are a lot of things that we can actually use at the same time.
So the items that we should use, and really, because Nigeria is so blessed that you can get all of this.
All sorts.
Corn also is part of it. I know they like to poke fun at the president when he said, is it agbado? Is it?
Yes.
But these are actually practical ways.
Countries are making billions from these things that we're overlooking.
Your country out of the doldrums. And these are things that we should be looking at. And I'm hoping that really and truly this government will take these things very,
very, very seriously. And it's always been a conversation people have had. It's high time to really diversify our economy, really and truly.
This morning when I went for a walk, I saw my neighbor whose house, she has a border with the river, with the Ogun River, and she was like, that she's now a farmer, that she has mint leaves. She is doing a lot of veggies and stuff, yeah. And she's like,
the land in our compound would be wonderful.
Exactly.
Wonderful.
So I said to her, this is beautiful. You need to do more of this. She said, yes. I said, so are you looking at the market, outside the estate? She said, no, that she's just trying to cater to the people within the estate.
And that's still a lot.
And that's
still
smart,
a lot. That's still a lot.
So imagine if we were all growing our own things. She said that the corn that they had all through this year was planted in that compound.
Wow. That's nice. I said, really nice.
So imagine, and that's even what they call subsistence
farming. Yeah.
So imagine if everybody tried, or everybody that had land tried that. It reduces all this importation and everything. She said she's going to go into green peppers and yellow peppers. I said, now you're talking.
Yeah.
Now, so we need to look inwards. We need
really
to
do.
We,
We really
need
do.
to farm more. We need to do more of these
Exactly.
things.
So quickly, today is Eid al-Maulud, as the Christian Association of Nigeria has congratulated the Sultan of Sokoto and Nigerian Muslims in whole for as a whole in commemoration of the birth of Prophet Muhammad. They're talking about promotion of mutual respect, understanding, and peaceful coexistence amongst all religions in the country. And I think really it's
When I saw
basic.
this story, I was really happy. I said, "Oh, this is good. This is a welcome development.
Yes, it
let's
is.
let's have more of this."
Yes.
But again, when are we going to recognize the Isheshe people too?
But there's already Isheshe in the day now.
But we don't. These two religions don't recognize them.
Okay, at this point, I don't know.
It's a question that I'm asking.
Okay.
It's a free world, right? But let us also realize that we're a secular country. But it's a good thing. And again, on that note, on behalf of myself and the team, Maulud Nabil Abi, there's a Eid Maulud to all Muslim brothers and sisters,
Okay.
especially the ones who are at home chilling.
Now, moving on from that, talking about people chilling, we know that as much as there's a public holiday today, there is most likely going to be a public holiday next week, Monday, as well as Nigeria's Independence Day
And
celebration.
There might be an extended one from the 3rd of October.
As you know,
Extended public
we never
holiday.
know. Anyway, the president, there's now been an announcement through the National Orientation Agency disclosing that the president is set to honor 11 people with special awards. There's an award ceremony that's supposed to be on Thursday, October 5th. And these awardees are different. They're not the national honors that, they're just giving to different people. Sadly, all these people, I think most of them are late, if not all. But these 11 people, they're very special because let me read out their names and then maybe we'll have a conversation around why. So now, first on that list, by no particular order, Taiwo Michael Akikumi, who is the Nigerian flag designer. Salahuddin Akon, the naval rating that hoisted the Nigerian flag at midnight to mark the independence of Nigeria in 1960. Late Commander Onwura Chiazo, the commandant under whose order the naval rating Salahuddin hoisted the flag. Now, John A. Ilechukwu, Eme Etim Akpan, B.A. Ogunaike, Sota Omogui, P.O. Aderibigbe, are all people who contributed to the lyrics of the Nigerian national anthem, the current one that we're using at the moment. Then, late Benedict E. Odiase, who a lot of people, or let me say a lot of older people, don't let me try too much. People knew as the person that composed the national anthem. At that point, he was one that directed the Nigerian Police Band. He was the musical director of the Nigerian Police Band that actually started, that composed the national anthem. Then late Mrs. Felicia Adebola Adedoyin, the woman who wrote the national pledge, and Mr. Adewusi, who was Mrs. Adedoyin's friend, who introduced her to the president as of then. So all these 11 people who, sadly, I don't understand why we're just having this conversation in 2023. This is 63 years after our independence. I don't know why these people have not been. Yes, there's some of them that actually have like national honors and all that, but other people have national honors. These people are should be in Hall of Fame, do you understand? And their own, they should have in the world of their own. And I'm wondering why are we just having this conversation now? But it is never late. It is they say is better late than never. So the president is set to give these people special awards, and also September 16th from now on is going to be National Symbols Day, and September 30th will be Citizens and Patriots Day. Now, it said that the Symbols Day marks the date when the Nigerian coat of arms and the national ordinance was signed into law in 1960 ahead of the Nigerian Independence Day.
All right. Congratulations to the families of these 11 outstanding Nigerians. And the first time you mentioned this story to me, the first feeling I got was, are you kidding me? So we really haven't recognized these people
all
as
this
much
while,
as we should have, And these are the real issues, brothers and sisters. We have a problem in Nigeria of, recognizing people for their inputs. It's a big problem. I remember when I was working on the Nigerian Sports Awards project with the owners of the project behind the scenes and all. The major feedback we got was when you recognize someone from way back when, they'll be like, oh, this is the first time someone is actually, you'll be shocked, like, really? Oh, but we know your name, we know this and that. We need to institutionalize this thing, like create a National Institute of Nigerian History and Awards. Create, I know that they've talked about it, but we do not even have our own Hall of Fame. We have museums, that don't really get that much buzz. But what if you created aspects of the Hall of Fame in every museum in Nigeria?
Yeah.
Where kids can go and, see
history.
Pieces of history. When you go abroad and you're at, there's this Hard Rock Cafe. It's a franchise in different parts of the world, majorly in America. For every Hard Rock Cafe you go to, there's a piece of history there. There's one that I went to that had Marilyn Monroe's shoes and Elvis Presley's what's it called? His dress and all. Do you understand? And Hard Rock in Nigeria also has something similar. Do you understand? Those are places where you actually get in touch with history and you learn a lot. The labors of our heroes past shall never be in vain is one of the most popular lines from the Nigerian national anthem.
Yeah.
But it has been in vain. It's the truth. It is sad and it is shocking that it's just been recognized in 2023. So kudos to the team and the president and the people who have come up with this idea.
There was a need, finally.
And one thing that I notice about awards is that it actually makes people feel good.
Yeah.
Especially when they are merit-based. Based on merit. It's not those ones that are paid for, that they have to vote for and everything, because at times voting doesn't necessarily mean...
it doesn't mean anything, really. At the end of the day, I totally agree with you. Now, let's move on quickly from
congratulations to their families.
Yeah, let's move on quickly from that. Let's do a little bit of sports before we go back to a few stories. Now, one of the major stories that is buzzing all over is the row between Nigeria's Super Eagles striker Victor Osimhen and his club, Napoli. And it's interesting how you would expect, or you would not expect such a thing, because I think it was on Sunday, he played a penalty and he lost the penalty. Interestingly, or let me put it like this, it's as much as it could be really hurtful. People have lost World Cups because they lost penalties. People have lost Champions League. People have literally lost trophies because they lost. Do you understand? But this is not even a trophy winning game. And the best of the best in the world, everybody at some point have lost penalties. Some, like I said earlier, more devastating than others because it actually is really like hurtful. It depends on the game. So losing penalty is part of the game. Losing penalty at the end of the day is really not a big deal, because now even the Messis and the Ronaldos of this world lose penalties. And why it was okay for a club, for someone that was your highest goal scorer last year, literally carried the whole team to win the trophy that they had not won in over 30 years. how it was okay to feel that to mock this person was the next line of action. Is the part I don't get.
I'm happy that we decided to talk about this Osimhen debacle, this issue that Victor Osimhen is having in his club. As far as top strikers go, Victor Osimhen is the real deal. He's up there with the best.
Oh
in the
yeah,
world.
he's one of the best in the world.
Consistently, year in year out, he has improved and shown that he's as good as any striker you want to mention. You cannot mention 10 strikers in the world today now, and Osimhen will not be ranked amongst them.
Yeah.
And that's how good he is. Now, at Napoli is a club with good pedigree, the club of Diego, Armando Maradona, one of the best players in the world, one of the best that ever did it. Isn't it strange that after Maradona, Napoli struggled for decades?
Yeah.
They never really made that much of an impact until Victor Osimhen came through. And this is the same Osimhen who actually had offers. I'm telling you, if Napoli had put him on the market the way he wanted to and the way everybody would have wanted,
they would have.
Osimhen will be playing for Arsenal today.
Yeah.
Playing for Chelsea, Liverpool,
or United.
Man United, PSG.
Yes.
Or he would have taken that massive
amount of money,
insane offer that came from Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia. Yes, he's worth that
good.
much.
He's
yes.
that good. But you know what he did? He showed loyalty to the team and stayed back. They said he's not on the market, and he could have fought it. There's player power. A lot of these clubs always forget. Look at what happened with PSG and Kylian Mbappe. Mbappe wants to go to Real Madrid, and he will go. And with all the money that PSG has, he has shown them that money can do everything. Look at them now. Look at where they are. So there's player power, and Osimhen didn't do any of these things. But guess what? He started a new season, and he has not scored as much goals as everybody would have wanted for
But the season
Napoli.
just started.
Yeah, regardless of that, we know that in football, people go through dry patches. You go through situations where, the goals might not come. But you know what he has done? He has put in a shift. Every time he's called upon, he makes the team all the time, and he puts in 110%. All the time. So he wasn't scoring goals. And their media team decided to do a video mocking. No, it's the kind of video that.
The funny thing is that they actually sat down and because that video wasn't a random thing.
No.
It was made. It was produced.
No.
You added audio, added lettering, added everything. And
they even tweaked the voice.
That's what I'm saying. Like you produced a whole video just to mock your star player.
Star player.
It doesn't make any sense.
To mock your
Somebody
star player.
needs to tell me how it makes any sense.
The only thing that Napoli has done is to delete the video. But sadly, everybody has a copy. We all have a copy of that video now.
Everything is out there.
So deleting it does not change
The funny
anything.
thing is that, okay, take for example, the video was posted on TikTok. How you know that social media? I don't have TikTok. Never had TikTok. I saw that video, I think, on Twitter.
Yeah.
It's all over. There's a large chunk of people that do not have TikTok.
Yeah.
Probably even if they had TikTok, probably would never, maybe they don't follow Napoli.
They
probably wouldn't have seen it. But it's all over.
That's the power of the internet and the power of social media.
I don't know how anybody felt it was a smart move. There's talks of his manager trying to saying he's suing them. At this point,
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Do you think there's a tinge of racism involved in
I
this
think
thing?
so. I think so. I think that because he probably didn't feel it so much because of what he did.
He was scoring goals.
He was scoring goals.
And he won them the league.
He won them the league. So there was
wake me up. Did Napoli win the league last season?
Yes, they did.
Just wake me up.
Oh, yeah, they did. So it was more like he was doing what they paid to be done. So it was like, oh, okay. Because he at our last season, this person was literally an idol in Napoli. And now it's sad because sadly for Napoli, there's a video of him coming to training today and literally snubbing.
Yeah, he only greeted the manager,
people.
And the other players were waving at him. He just walked past them. Now, so it cuts a figure of someone who would probably, if he has heard about it, will be playing that Tupac song. It's me against the world, baby. Because right now it will be him against the world.
I really think Napoli had made Victor, a huge mistake.
Victor, we stand with you.
I think that I would not be surprised if January transfer window opens and he wants to leave Napoli by all means.
I just hope that they're not going to mess his career up, I hope they're not going to hold him back and be so mean like they have.
Yeah, but really now, the truth is that again, Premier League clubs, if they give him up today, Premier League clubs will snatch him like.
Let's get real. They deleted the video. Have they released a statement?
A statement? No.
Have they punished anybody?
No.
Has anybody been sacked? No. Again, like I said, when people go and fight battles for you or do crazy things for you, the person that they are doing it for, when you don't condemn it, it means you like it. For the Napoli management, they are definitely in love with what has happened to Victor. And in reaction, Victor Osimhen, quietly and calmly has deleted every single
he has also
image.
Every image that has to do with that's why I'm saying that this looks like his exit might actually be faster.
You can't tell him how to run his
Instagram, except
media.
you're paying him for it. You cannot tell him what to put.
And you're not.
So at this point, because I feel that is such a very dumb issue. Like at the moment, maybe we don't know what's going to happen in the next couple of years. In the past 10, 12, 15 years, Messi and Ronaldo have dominated the football world.
Yes, they have.
They have lost a lot of penalties.
A whole lot.
A whole lot. It is not that much of a big deal. Yes, it is a big deal that you lose a penalty. But the truth is, when we break it down, I will see the incidence of losing penalties. Then you realize that it happens to every human being.
Staying with this chain of thought and this line of reasoning. If peradventure Bukayo Saka, Jadon Sancho and Rashford. Remember when they lost penalties?
Yeah, when they lost
England?
Penalties, yeah.
Imagine
and England.
Yeah.
It's bad enough that people and fans could do all the things they did.
No, so wait. We know what the fans did. Imagine if when that happened, the country that they played against now throws them. What do you think will happen?
Yeah, that...
No. It's a question. I'm not asking you to analyze it.
I get it, but the country they play against...
No. Okay, since you want to take attention away from what I'm saying, I will break it down to you. Liverpool versus Chelsea. Fictitiously, Mohamed Salah loses a penalty at the weekend against Chelsea. Then Chelsea decides to pick that video and mock him. What do you think will happen? That's the question I'm asking. I'm not asking for analysis. I'm asking you a question. What do you
probably going to come for Chelsea, or people will laugh about it?
Laugh. Will Liverpool's management laugh about it?
Maybe not.
That Chelsea picked their player to poke fun at. Would they laugh about it?
Oh, maybe not, yes.
It's not a maybe not. They would not. Because you are now really messing with their player.
With their player, yeah.
So the management will stand up for him. And they will fight and say, oh, why did you do this to our player? You must do this. And they will report them to the league management team and all of that, the company. Now, flip it. A Chelsea player misses a penalty, then Chelsea's media team decide to poke fun at him. Who's going to fight for him?
It doesn't even make any sense.
And that's what I'm just trying to show you how bad it is. That imagine if it was AC Milan that was poking fun at him now. Is it not the same Napoli that are supposed to fight for him?
Exactly.
Imagine if it was
to me, at the end of the day,
Roma.
It just looks like he probably might be leaving Napoli faster than a lot of people.
Osimhen should
thought.
pack his bags, man.
It's not, which I really thought he would have left last season, even though yes, he said he was not up for sale.
That's loyalty.
Because left to me, I was more of the opinion that you leave when the ovation is loudest. Just go, just really go. Anyway, though, we'll see where this is going to lead, as his management has also come out to say that they might actually be suing Napoli. So we'll see where all that drama is coming to. And also, still talking a little bit about sports. Nigeria has officially lost their bid for the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. Why would you say thank God? Anyway, now for 2025, Morocco is hosting, and then the East African countries have won the bid for the 2027. That's Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. They are hosting the 2027 edition, and I think that was the one that Nigeria and Benin Republic were supposed to host. They wanted to host
2025.
No, it's 2027.
They wanted to host 2025, then they would have hosted 2027.
Anyway,
either way, let me tell you something. Nigeria hosted Africa in 1980 all by itself. Mm-hmm. The next time, we're co-hosting with Ghana. Mm-hmm. Ghana, Nigeria, 2000 or something, right? Mm-hmm. The next time we want to co-host now is with Benin Republic. What is wrong with you as a nation?
I'm lost. What's wrong with
you? Do not have... Why do you have to co-host?
Oh, okay.
The largest economy in Africa. You do not have enough stadiums, Abi. You don't have enough hotels. You don't have enough fans. You don't have enough crowd, Abi. Exactly. This is 2023, and you're trying to co-host with Benin Republic. We have brothers and sisters in Benin Republic. It's not about Benin Republic. It's about Nigeria's failings here. One, I don't really like the idea of them focusing too much on elite sports. But you see, if they had been doing the right thing through the years, like 8 years of Buhari, they are like, all the stadiums owned by the federal government were in tip-top shape. You would not, I swear you would have won this bid. But today, if they ask you, how many stadiums can actually host a world-class game? How many? In Lagos, none. Let Lagos people come and tell me. The Mobolaji Johnson Stadium, they have not finished it though. It has good grass, but go walk behind it, and it doesn't even have parking space. Agege is under renovation. Have they finished it? 5,000 seater in 2023. So, Uyo, built by a state government. And maybe the National Stadium in Abuja. But the Liberty Stadium in Ibadan, the Liberation Stadium in Enugu?
All you need to do is just
in Port Harcourt,
renovate those ones.
The one that they have in Enugu, they have Port Harcourt, they have Ibadan, they have Kaduna, and I think they have Kano also. Why are all and National Stadium Surulere? Why are all your stadiums in a terrible shape? And you want to go and host Africa in collaboration with Benin Republic? Don't you have shame?
Anyway, that window is closed now. Maybe we'll see what's happening.
Be closed permanently.
2031. But moving on from that quickly, as we're coming down to Lagos State. Lagos State looks like they're not smiling, as they've now shut down another market, Okeodo Market near Ile-Epo in Abule Egba, over the reckless waste disposal. A few days ago, they had shut down 2 markets earlier. Now they're shut down a 3rd market, and there looks like Loma is not playing. They have also released a list of markets that there will be possible shutdown if y'all don't do the right thing.
It's giving me Fashola vibes all over again.
Yeah. Also, the state governor was at Agege today.
Yeah, the
Red Line project, talking about at the Agege Stadium, where he has given the Agege train station, where he had given the traders 2 days to clear off their wares off the tracks and saying that they're going to wall off the whole place completely. And after 2 days, anybody that still has stuff there, whatever happens, you're on your own.
The amount of money that Lagos will spend to wall off that place will probably build a mini estate somewhere. But because a lot of us we like to act like goats. I'm sorry.
Let me just be quiet.
We act like we don't.
And it's funny how you see this thing happen, and then you're wondering, like, it's just common sense, but we just choose
the Agege train station, the one that belongs to the federal government. Go and check out what's happening on the tracks.
Yeah, it's smack dab in the middle of the market, and then people can't just
go and check out what's going on there. Then you will understand how terrible we are as a people. And these are world-class facilities that would depreciate if we do not maintain them properly. And maintenance is not only about how the train moves from point A to point B, but even the environment and everything. Exactly. It's disgusting with the things that's happening there. So I like what the new commissioner for environment, I think is Mr. Wahab, right? Is it Tokumbo Wahab or something? I hope I'm not mixing up his name. Is doing with the environment. This should have been done 4 years ago. 8 years. Because again, since we don't want to do the right thing, dispose of your waste properly,
and I'm wondering, like, so what's not the point of the environmental sanitation that they do at markets on Thursdays?
They take off hours on Thursdays for you to clean the market,
but you
don't do that.
It doesn't make any sense.
Then we used to have the monthly environmental sanitation. Someone went to court and got a judgment, and that thing had to stop. But at some point, we need to bring it back. Because minus the markets too, if you even look at Nigeria as a whole, there's a lot of environmental issues when it comes to cleaning and all. The local governments are not capable. The states do not have the wherewithal, and the federal government, they're not even concerned. So it's time for you to clean your own environment, starting from inside to outside.
Okay, now going back, we're going all the way to an update of a story, and the story is the issue with Mohbad's death, and there's a lot of issues coming out of that. Now, the latest is Nairamarley, who is said to be the owner of the record label where Mohbad was as of last year, has now come out with a statement talking about denying allegations of knowing anything that has to do with Mohbad's death, talking about how he had left the country as far back as 31st of August. This was way before Mohbad died. He had talked about how he has spoken to the authorities and how he's planning to come back to the country to
help with
the investigation, but that he has nothing to do with his death. He has nothing to do with any cult and allegations and all that. And the truth of the matter is that, and that's actually the truth, until there's evidence, we should not be throwing allegations around.
You must be able to tie, your prime suspect to the crime and the crime scene.
You're just going to be
either remotely or physically. Remotely in the sense that maybe the people who were with him were working for your prime suspect, or physically that he actually had gone in or met him somewhere, had done something to him. I know that everybody has cancelled Naira Marley and Malian records.
I wanted to point something out.
Yes, please.
I might sound very petty, but I know that this was news a few days ago saying about how Naira Marley had lost about 500,000 followers. He had about 7 million followers. And a few days ago, it dropped to 6.5. That's on
Instagram.
Yes. As I speak, that number has moved back to 6.8. Okay. And I'm wondering, who are all these people?
Where did the 300,000 new followers
come from? Who are the people that never unfollowed him? And
every time I hear this thing,
let's stop being hypocritical.
Fowls, his best song ever is "Everybody is a hypocrite." Everybody.
I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, I thought this person is cancelled.
You cancelled him. Some people have uncancelled him. So you cancelled Naira Marley. I get that. Now, we're not saying Naira Marley is innocent. But we're also not saying he's
He's
guilty.
Exactly.
What we're saying is that we trust the process, we trust the investigations, and we trust that the truth will be revealed. Again, autopsies do not respond to sentiments.
It doesn't.
Only facts.
It doesn't.
I saw a top influencer who was writing that the autopsy cannot even work, and what the people asking for DNA, it can't work. After all, the body has been exposed to this and that the toothbrush that he used. And I'm like, Jesus, who are these children? Like, don't you know that DNA doesn't change?
Clueless.
Like, if they dig up a body that has been there
10
for
years after
10
DNA.
even older bodies have been dug
Yeah.
up, and it's DNA, baby.
Anyway.
But we need to teach ourselves more. We need to learn more and understand more about all of the things that would help us understand life better.
Anyway, so we'll see
Naira
where
Marley
that
has said
goes.
that he didn't do nothing wrong, he didn't kill the man, and that they were in the process of even sorting out their business dealings. So here we are.
We'll definitely will see where that would end. Quickly, also, Indonesia, for people in Indonesia, they have now banned e-commerce transactions on social media. They're saying that they are helping small businesses to grow. So basically, you can't sell stuff on social media anymore.
I thought they were banning it because of all the fake people selling fake things and stealing people's money online.
Sell stuff
There
online
are too many
anymore.
people. This is Indonesia. I'm sorry, I'm going to localize it. There are too many people on social media pretending to be selling stuff to people, and they are scammers. They are just scamming people and taking their money.
People. I agree with you.
I thought we were going to mention it before we move on. Finally, staying with the Naira Marley Mohbad story, we've talked a lot about a social media influencer, very dark black man, and recently I saw a video of him talking about how they a popular blog, Gist Lovers blog,
Nameless or faceless.
Released the guy's nudes. To what effect?
Exactly. Like,
How does that affect? How does it affect the investigation into Mohbad's
okay?
killer?
So it sounds like you're trying to silence someone. Why do you need to silence him?
Yeah, you want to eliminate him. You want to discredit him.
You want to discredit him so
that he loses his voice.
Does it change? Does it change what he said, or does it change if there's an autopsy done and investigations are done? Does it change the truth, the facts of the matter?
The man could be right. The
He
man could be wrong.
I think that we need to stop this nonsense. It is ridiculous. And maybe because this person is faceless, you realize that these things are actually crimes.
Don't worry. They will get you one day.
They're crimes. These
They will
things are
get
crimes.
you.
It does not make
They don't
any
have your
sense.
time yet, but they will get you.
It doesn't make any sense. Finally, before we go, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency has now announced that their flash floods are expected in 25 states across the country. At this point,
let us
Thursday,
all
Friday,
be
there's
careful.
talks about heavy
get up.
rains around heavy rainfall by tomorrow and Friday. There are a lot of states involved, a lot of states in the north on this list. Also, a lot from the southwest also in this. So, and then it be from so I think that people really just need to be careful at this point. More from the north. I think that people just need to be careful. Please,
God save us.
Anyway, on that note, that is all we take today on The Bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you very, very much for watching. We will be back again tomorrow at 3 p.m. West African time to give you another wonderful edition of The Bar. Do you have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead?
Peace.